Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Another fun-filled day, TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. I'm always happy to see Monday appear, and always glad to be here. Be able to get all my angst out, and boy, has there ever been crazier times than these. You just shake your head and just watch it. I mean, they're raising taxes out of Washington out of nowhere, and in the middle of a recession. I mean, I've never seen. It's like the gang that can't shoot straight. It goes on and on and on. It just never stops. I see these conversations about the recession and if it's a recession, if it's not a recession. This is like Animal Farm. It's like Orwellian. It's just nothing more than craziness all the time. Yes, indeed. So then I see a headline. It says something like, what do we do with the dollar? Here's the dollar. You can see the dollar. We have both dollar indexes up on the screens on Chicago Quants and over on J4X. And the dollar stays relatively strong. I mean, it's up towards the high ends of its range now for months upon months upon months. Hey, Franzel. How you doing this morning? Good morning to you. Or good afternoon. I guess you're in Deutschland, yeah? Verstehen? So, good afternoon maybe almost at this point. So what we have is we have this situation where the markets are just twisting in the wind, I guess you could say, And so you see here the dollar's trying to press down a little bit. There's pressure on it. I see the looking at the individuals, like the euro. Let's take a look at the euro. Right. Where is it at? Right there it is. There's the euro. And you can see the pressure is on that in the reverse now. No, it's going up, not down. You can see the green line coming through the dashed line here. These are two stochastics. The fast is the green, and this is a slow stochastic, overlapped with each other. Now this is a really, really good index. It's much using these two. You don't need to use like an RSI or a MACD because they are a laggard to this indicator. Now, if I had the time to pay attention to it, I'd talk to the Markets Technicians Association and stop labeling stochastics as a lagging indicator. They have it listed in their interpretation of indicators, these public indicators. But without a doubt, when you take two stochastics and you put them together, it makes the MACD look slow. And MACD is listed as a leading indicator when it comes to the Market Technicians Association. Yo, Robin. Good morning. Good morning. You see the bee rescue? All those pictures I put up there? We were out there until about 8:45 last night. We were doing a bee rescue. We were saving bees. Let's see if I can find a picture of that real quick. Bee rescue. It looked like about 3 hives combined together. It was pretty big. It was about 20 feet up in the air, and I did all the physics and let the young guys do the heavy lifting and labor. But I did all the physics for getting it down. Let's see if we can find a picture of it real quick. I know I have a picture around here somewhere. Somewhere. There it is. Let's bring that over to you like that. There it is. That's 20 feet up in the air. That's when we finally cut the limb. And you can see the bees sliding down right there. Let's see if you can do that. Did I do that like that? Oh, no, that doesn't do it. Do it this way. There we go. And you can see here, there it is. So this is, we cut the limb off of this tree right here. And it's about 20 feet up in the air, 18 feet, something like that. And then you can see the bees. There are all the bees right there, roaming around. And this is all the honey and the hives. And we have a before picture, I think, somewhere. No, that's not it. Let's go back to that and let's go find. It's way up in the tree, so it makes it a challenge to. Let's see, move that over. And where do we go from here? We go to there. We go to there. There it is. Okay. Let's see if I can find when it was way up in the tree. This is a pretty good picture. Let's see. Oh, there it is. I found it just as I clicked past it, and I think I blew it up at the same time. There we go. We're going to put that up there, and then we'll go back over to the euro. The euro. Euro's looking pretty good today, actually. It's looking relatively firm. I've been impressed with it. I early in the day on Friday, the euro was playing down. It was pressing down, and we had the British pound moving up, and it was like it just didn't have that look anymore, like it was it was going to get any legs. But all of a sudden, they picked it up. Maybe this tax bill's probably not a good thing. I mean, we know it's not a good thing, but I mean, it's probably a short-term bad thing. Oh, here we go. Here's a picture of it way up in the tree. Before we cut it, right. We anchored it with ropes and pulley system, and we cut it like right there. I was right there. We cut it. That's that whole hive right there. This is just all wood, and the tree limb had broken and exposed this big giant network of bees and growth and all that stuff. So anyhow, let's get back to the markets. But that was what we were doing. Having fun playing bee rescue. To be or not to be. So there it is right there. You can see the dollar index. Now let's put the euro up there. And you can see right here, it's backing off a little bit because we have it on candles here. Someone asked for it on candles and I've never changed it. But you can see we're in the daily buy, I guess right from Friday. That's what it is. So we went into a sell on there. Yeah, didn't really go down much. Just hesitated sideways, up more than down. And then now it's in the buy right there from Friday. And it's trying to lift, but we're in a weekly sell. But this is a pretty good thing here. You can see the weekly is trying to lift through the time manifold here. We call this a non-linear time manifold. This is the weekly indicator. And what it does is it shows us overbought and oversold characteristics. Just like, when you see it leap on the daily, way through the time manifold here, and then pierces it. Notice it goes docile, goes sideways to down. If not down, it goes sideways to down. And that's usually the way it works, just like here. Breaks the time. Now, time manifold here telling you that the volatility is going to really increase because look how tight it has come. And then for those that follow the like John Bollinger's what do you call it? Hey, there is Ribeiro from Brazil. We can show you. We can't get a hold of that currency. It doesn't seem like anybody can get a chart on the real. But what we do have is in the States here, we trade a ETF of the Brazilian stock market, which makes you automatically short. Doc, can you call me TORM? Sure. Nope. Turum? That's cool. It's my nickname for a long time now. No, glad to. Turum? Am I saying it right? Turum? Like that? Well known in the hacking community. We can also find it. Wikipedia. That's cool. Storm. Oh, I like that even better. You're a storm. I like that. Oh, like tornado. Maybe storm? I'll call you Storm. Is that what you want? Storm's cool. And Storm, don't be afraid to ask any particular questions about the marketplace whatsoever. Hey, Metho 2000. We love trying to discover. We do discovery. That's like the bee rescue yesterday. Never have we ever even tried to go up a 20-foot tree situation, build a pulley system, and cut the bees and survive. The hive has survived, and everybody's happy and healthy. So we're always out there trying to do discovery. I did the physics for it. So now, where are we going from there? Storm, I like that. The hackers. Oh man, I'll tell you. I always tell people that the industry forced us to be hackers. That was always the funny thing, We didn't want to be hackers. They just forced us to be hackers because of runtime and so forth and access. And that's how it was back in the 70s and the 80s. They forced us to crack the master control program in the mainframes to be able to get more time and get more runtime and access. They forced us. They didn't need to force us to become hackers. They made us hackers. All right. I'm sure there's some criminal ones out there, but that's like everything else. There's always somebody out there that's doing something wrong. But anyway, there you can see the euro. The euro is kind of trying to lift up. They're showing a little strength. And there is a funny article out there. Here it is. Escobar, how comfortable are you with the U.S. dollar? Let's bring that over there just for a fun look. Right there. That's what caught my eye this morning. The article itself, you know. The dollar, unfortunately, for us here in the States, people think it's wonderful that we're the world reserve currency. But believe me, it really wrecks the fundamentals. It disrupts understanding the physical supply and demand in the States, because you have, a third of the world using your currency all the time, which also automatically is a bad thing for them when you have, like the U.S. now, we have a bunch of incompetence running the financial system. So you get stuck with American inflation, just like we're stuck with American inflation. That type of thing. Whereas if you notice, the European currencies are doing better against the inflation because they're more independent. Now, obviously, can you imagine if something like Turkey, who has like 180% inflation, is hurting their domestic community, and anybody who uses the Turkish lira around the edges of their country, that type of thing, cross-border trade and so forth. So it's always an interesting challenge. So, all right. So where did we leave off from the Brazil? Let's see. Let me. What's it? Alberto. What we can do is we can show you. Let me see if we can bring it up. I'll show you what we're talking about here. Let's see. Open workspace. I think it's right there. There it is. And this is the Brazilian ETF, and everybody who always says, I want to trade the Brazilian real, which is like almost impossible for anybody to do, which just seems odd to me. I mean, you seem to have enough foreign currency to be able to do it, but for some reason it doesn't seem to work out. Now, EWZ, I think, that's it right there. That's the Brazilian real ETF. It's really the stocks. You see, it went into a weekly sell here. It was in a weekly sell there. It went into a weekly buy for 2 weeks for this hump action there. You can see that. We're just going to put a line in there like that, and then we'll put another line over here. It didn't last long. You can see the Brazilian ETF rolled over again. There it is right there. And then right back into the sell again. Back in the saddle again. Yes, indeed. Look at that. Now, oh, that's cool. Look at that. It went into the buy last week. Cool. And let's widen this out and see what that was doing, the daily chart. So, went into the buy here. There it is right there. So it goes into the buy there about 7 days ago. It didn't go into a sell here, and the reason why, we got a red and a green. So it's still in the buy, and it's staying up, and then this morning in the pre-market, it's still very firm. And it went into the weekly buy last week, right there. So maybe that's a sign that the dollar is going to start feeling a little pain again. I don't know. And then, it would be interesting when we go back to the other currencies. Let me just save that. File, save workspace. Let's close that. And when you look at the other currencies, there's the euro trying to lift up. But look at the weekly. It's still, at least it's touching the time manifold. That's a positive thing. Now, I remember cable last week looking very firm. There's cable. We've been in the buy since right here. And, oh, look at that. Okay. Yeah, so it's getting through the weekly buy already. Nice. It was nice last week. This started the what I call the echo, the blue dashed line. That's the 5 out of the super right there on the left corner. Let's see if we can do this. There we are. That's that right there. That super 5. Let's see. Storm says they make high inflation so nobody has money for an SUV anymore. Well, SUVs are destroying the solar system, so I understand that part. The SUV has taken almost 30% of the atmosphere off of Pluto over the last 4.5 years. So, and it's turned Neptune and Uranus into ice age situations on those planets. So, and everybody tells us it's the SUVs, and it's And it's what else is there? There's a few other things out there to do it, I guess. Fossil fuels. I don't know. Didn't know we had that much power. SUVs out of Detroit have so much power that they can influence the whole solar system. And then let's see. So you see here, the British pound, looking pretty good, and we're actually through the time manifold, and now we're actually into the plus territory. So maybe, baby, maybe. Let's see. Tighten that puppy up. It's been a long while since the 30s. We've been in a weekly sell since April 19th. So, yeah, I heard that Al Gore. Is it Al Gore? Yeah, I think it was Al Gore. I like to always, and instead of calling him Al Gore, I always like to call him Al Gore. One word, Al Gore. And he came out and said this is the greatest environmental protection policy ever voted on in Washington D.C. So I guess it'll stop those darn SUVs from wrecking the solar system. All right. From there, we slide over to the Turkish lira. Oh, you know what? I want to just take a quick look at the Swiss. Let me just take a quick look at Swiss and see what Swiss is doing. There it is, right there. Let's put the British pound up on J4X real quick. Look at all that nice green going on. Tried to hesitate, but jumped back up and do it again. It's at the top end of the range. Maybe it'll do a little digestion in here and then keep on moving on the upside. Now let's go over to Swiss. And there is the Swiss. Down, 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 down she goes. That means that she's getting stronger against the dollar. And we've been in that sell since here on a daily basis. And even, the weekly. The weekly's been in the sell at the same time. So it's been one big winner chicken dinner. Speaking of which, I got something in the oven. Let me go turn it off. Did I turn it off? Let me just double check something. Hold on, traders. I think I turned. I was cooking something. Hold on. Yes, I turned it off. Good. Just want to make sure. I know I turned it off, but it made me think. Don't want to burn when I'm cooking. You can see that the Swiss is really looking pretty good. It's at the bottom end of its range. It's even tried to make a lower low here and a lower high there, and now we're doing another lower low here. So whatever bounce we get may be very short-lived. You can see how the dailies sometimes can be very stretched out nicely. It gives you a signal and boom. In this case here, it was the buy and then sell, and then wow, what a run that was. Let's see what else we got going on here. Double top and gold. Storm, let's check that out. I saw an interesting article, but I didn't read it. I want to show you the article. You may get a laugh out of it. It's something about the Templar Knights in Europe and gold, 1,000-year lattice strategy. Here it is, right here. We're going to put this up there. You guys can go chase after it. I'll try to go find time to read it. There it is, right there. A 1,000-plus-year-old idea is the latest crypto trend. In the year of 1120, a French noble named Hugh, residence former Muskin, Temple, Mount, Jerusalem, blah, blah, blah. I guess they have something about gold in here, right? Wasn't the gold in the title? I could have sworn I saw gold in the title. I thought it was a gold thing. Maybe I know what it was. This is what it was. They were doing something with gold. That's what it is. So, own physical gold, i.e. actual bars and coins, then you can hold it in your hand instead of an ETF. Yeah, I agree with that. That's why, Robin talks about it all the time. We talk about it here most of the time. And that problem is that when you look at silver or gold on a physical market, it's trading about $10 higher than an ounce, and sometimes $13 an ounce higher than it trades on the exchange. And we've talked about this before about the metals complex. Let's go over to gold anyway to start off with for Storm. There it is, right there. Holding up pretty firm. We've been in a buy since I guess we just missed it there on the 21st. 22nd, picked it up, and it bounced around for a little bit, and now it's moved up about $50 from the buy. we're still trying to work it here. You can see the weekly is having its issues, but it is through the manifold, so we do see some strength climbing through there. That's pretty good with the gold. Now, double top. You're seeing a double top? Double top in gold. So, are you thinking, where's the second top? Or where's the first top? Is this right here the first top? Let's put something in there. Let's draw something. Do you think this is the, it's going to go up to here? You think it's going to go up to 1900? Is that what you're thinking? Kind of looks like a reverse head and shoulders. So, I mean, I could see that, where it comes up between that. I guess we should do this. Let's do it this way instead. Like that. Try to encompass it all. I'll get rid of that green line. Remove. So something like that, Storm. Is that what you're thinking? So it's going to play with this stuff. I guess you move that over like that, right? There we are. So you think it's going to play that range, and then it'll come up to what? Between 1850 and 1900. That will be the double top. Intraday 15-minute. Oh, okay. Let's go over to that. Let's go see what that is. Where's that at? I know we have a 15-minute somewhere around here. There's a 30-minute in copper, so we can put it in there. And also it has the Bollinger Bands. Someone must have been asking us about that. 15-minute. There we are. 15. And let's make that 3 days back, and then we'll straighten it out from there. Now, what are we doing here? What's down at the bottom? Wait a minute, I'm confused. Oh, okay, we had a 30-minute with a weekly? Let me just go take a look at this. Yeah, the weekly was in there. Oh, the weekly was a 4-hour. That's interesting. So what did we do wrong here then? Oh, 3 bars back. Close. No. We don't want to go 3 bars back. We want to go 3 days back. There we are. There we go. Okay, I see the double top now. You're saying, I think I see it. Is that the top right there? Like that? There's the double top. And this is a 15-minute. And I guess down below, we're looking at a 4-hour, which is kind of neat. Notice how the 4-hour started to break down. It's getting very close to the zero line. I don't know. Whoever come up with this idea was a good idea. I like that. I think it's interesting to look at the daily. I don't know how we ended up looking at a daily chart, an intraday chart. I'm sorry, an intraday chart with a 4-hour at the bottom and a 30-minute on the top. But that's pretty cool. That is interesting. And I can see that where you're seeing the double top there. Did we go into a sell there on that one? No, that didn't make it into a sell. That's the problem with the minute charts, you know. I'm so against them. I'm more of that spatial thing, you know. But you can see here, it's now trying to go into a sell there. But look at it. The green line is already heading south pretty hard. So, you know, it is pressuring it, but it's already sold down. Now, up top is obviously, this is the Bollinger Bands. I'm sure of that. Yeah, Bollinger Bands, see? And then down here is our gas lines. Gas line 3. And you can see it's the green line going through it. It kind of acts like that middle line for the Bollinger Bands, except for it's more three-dimensional. Whereas the Bollinger Bands are more of a like a two-dimensional holographic type of thing. How's that? Does that help you out, Eddie? Let me think. What else can we say about anything else? I guess that's about it. And the 4-hour is down below. Would you like to see something less on the gas line 5 down below? Instead of a 4-hour, would you like to see like a 1 hour or half hour? Or 2 hour or something like that, or it doesn't matter. It's kind of interesting. You see here, it really has a hard time. I guess whatever slam that was here on the 29th, going on to the 31st. I guess so. July 31st? Sunday night, I guess. So, there's Friday. And this is reading it from late last night when they started trading it. And, wow. Did they really take... What is that? Oh, that's copper. We're looking at the wrong thing. No wonder. You guys are not watching me. You got to straighten me out. Let's put gold in there. I had copper in there. GC. But copper's doing the same thing too. And deck copper. There we are. And then let's get that 4 hour into gold too. GC. There we are. That makes more sense. Boy, you must have been confused. Like, what the heck's he doing? What was that? What is that crazy thing? Let's make that 3 days back too. Settings, not 70 bars back, 3 days back. And let's make it 1 hour, just for fun of it. Let's see, check it out from 4x 15 minute. Let's see. There it is, right there. How's that look? And you can see here, I guess there's your double top right there, one there and one there on the gold. And it's breaking down. Boy, look at that. It's a lot of traffic going on down in here. Look at this. Just widen that out. So it gets into the buy right here. It goes sideways. Oh, look at that little slip. And then finally the pop. And then it goes into the sell right here, is it? Yeah, because it just misses the sell right there. It's at plot 1 is 0. Plot 4 is at 0. So you could try to take that as a short, but you know, and it did go down. And then over here on J4X, you see the same situation. You see the pressure on it. You got a green there, but then you got the two reds here. And you see the line. It's trying to bounce up, and then it breaks down again. How's that? A-okay, Storm? Cool, cool, and cool. All right, so what else we got to say about any of this? Oh, and you know what? There's the hourly one, which is kind of interesting. Let's push it back further. There we go. So was in the sell for here on an hourly basis. Then gets into a buy. Does it get into a buy or no? It gets into the buy right here. The daily picked that up kind of nice. Got you out of the short. So you're standing there waiting for the next directional opinion, you know. And it goes into a sell again and fails and starts to lift again. It gets into the buy right there again. And but now you got your weekly, your hourly right here holding up pretty strong and looking very strong, and you get that strength out of it there. So that worked out well. How's that, Storm? A-okay? All right, from there let's drift over to where we're heading for. We were looking at the Swiss, so let's go over to the dollar Turkish lira and see what they're doing to this poor thing. There's the daily. Dollar Turkish lira. right there. And it's still flirting with that 18 thing, right? Friday they did 1803, almost 1804. And today they did 1795, trading at 1794. It's been in that daily buy since here. Oop, right there. It's been that weekly buy since ever. As we like to say around here, since the cows came home. It's been since February, early February, it's been in a buy. Let's take a look at the Euro Turkish lira. Now remember, traders, you want to see something, just shout it out. We'll go look at it. I just do this whole rhythm of this, this consistency, so that we have we're just looking at different things. But I'm very happy to stop at what I'm looking at and go and look at anything you want to see. Now there is the Euro Turkish lira, which is looking so much more coherent as a currency, and slipped into a sell there and right back into the buy again. But since you're in a weekly buy, you can't take the sell. So all you can do is be neutral, and then boom, it says be long again, and obviously it's trying to go up from it. What else can we look at here? From there we will slide over to the Canadian. And there's the CAD doing pretty well. 4 days now in a sell against the dollar, which means that the Canadian is gaining value against the dollar. And normally when we see that, we automatically think about the oil market and think, okay, well, if the Canadian is in a weekly sell now, going on a third week starting this week, well then obviously oil must be going up. So let's go see what oil is doing. And there it is, going down. So that's very rare. Normally the Canadian will be, just the same way South African Rand usually leads the gold market. This is usually half and half, but it's a little surprising that we're seeing that much of a slide. Let's go look at the contango. Let's go back to November real quick. There it is there, November oil. Yep, same thing. They're smacking that down. So now something's wrong with the chart all of a sudden. I cleaned that chart up this morning. What in blazes? Let me just show you what the chart looked like this morning. I gotta go fix it again. Somehow or another it freaked it out. Here's what we sent out to clients this morning. And that was right. This math is all right. Now what happened here? September. Oh, something happened. Where did they screw up on it? The screw up this morning was, where was it? That was right. I think it's the one before it. I don't understand that. We have to take a look at that and see what's going on here. That doesn't make any sense. Well, we'll go back and look at it, but this is what we sent out, and I feel comfortable with that. It went into the buy here, and just see, where's that mouse at? Right there. It went into the buy there. And we got a couple days, but it's falling down. It's also in a weekly sell, so that makes no sense. Also, at the same time, with the Canadian, where's it at? Let's go back to the Canadian. The Canadian is kind of sideways down. You would think that oil is going up in value, so I'm not sure what that's all about. But we are seeing some really strange stuff going on there. Let's see, what do we got here? We have Kelly. Good morning. Euro Swiss. Let's check that out. We haven't had anybody ask about the Euro Swiss in a long while. It was probably you. You were probably the last person to ask for it. I think also Jordan looked at it too. A couple people looked at it. Euro. There's the dollar Swiss, Euro cable, Euro Swiss right there. There it is. You can see it's been in a weekly sell since let's see, when did it buy here? No, that's a sell. Sell, buy, and it's been in a sell ever since. Right there and there and there. And so it's gone into the sell here in the 104 area and traded down to the 98 area and still in there. It is trying to turn up. The daily was, look at that. Look at the run it gave it. Went into the daily sell there. Went back into a buy 2 days later. But the weekly was in a sell, so you didn't want to really play it alongside. You just got flat. And then we go into a sell 2 days later again. It's bon voyage. It's a pressure down. You're not long it. You're just not in it. That's all at that point. And then it goes from 104 to 102. And now it's gone from 102 in that sell all the way down to, there's the buy right there, down to 98.66 from 102. Went into the buy there for a day, went back into a sell next day, and now it's back into the buy there. And then let's see, let's fix that like so. There's the buy, and then there's your sell again, and it's in the sell still. There we go. And that's how that looks right there. Interesting. Euro Swiss. And so I guess the Swiss has been making money against the euro, and still is. Is that how you look at that, Cristobal? Or Kelly? Let's just call you Kelly. Leva Kelly. As we take a sip of water there. Interesting product. Yeah, I think about this product once in a while. I never go look it up, but I think about it because I follow this one here. I follow the Euro GBP, and I'm always wondering what's the Swiss doing against it. You know, and you see it's been in a weekly sell from here, and then but it was in a daily sell even longer. Then finally jumped into a buy for this little move up, and then went into the sell again right there. And still in that weekly sell there, and you can see the pressure that's put on it. So that makes me no problem, Kel. No problem at all. I'm glad you asked, really, because I think about it in the back of my head when I look at Euro GBP every day. I think, wonder what Swiss is doing against it. But then I got so many other things to chase after. I'm always depending on everybody here in the electronic trading pit. At Ducascopy here to push me to look at other things, because I get lost, with what I'm already doing, that type of thing, Let's see, from there, we were looking at Canadian, right? So let's go from Canadian to, and I'm really surprised about the oil, Canadian to, where's it at? It's here somewhere. We'll go from Canadian to yen. There's the yen. You can see the pressure it's on it. Went into a weekly sell last week right there. Let's put the line in there. We do think that the dollar Swiss is the canary in the coal mine. So if the dollar, and I said that last week too, the idea that it went into the sell here and it kept on sliding, and this was playing with underneath all week long. Kept on saying it must be signs of weakness in dollar. As much as the dollar was chopping sideways at times and trying to do other things, it pretty much is reflecting that. Let's check it out on J4X. Right there. Yeah, a lot of red. Lots of red on that daily. We're at the low end of the range, but that doesn't stop sellers from selling. You can see it's taking out this low here, it looks like. Has it? Let's see. The low there is 131.49, 131.87. Okay, so it's got a lot more work to do. And what else we got going on here? I guess that's about it when it comes to the yen. Let's go look at the south of our border, Mexican peso, and see how the peso is doing against the dollar. See, that's kind of the peso has really become stable. The Mexican peso, very stable. See it there, staying in its range for the last 7 months, 8 months. It drifted a little bit underneath it from the inflation stuff, but overall, it's been trading very nicely, very consistently. Let's see what it looks like over on J4X. Right there. Right there, right now. So there's the Mexican peso in a daily sell for was that 6 days now, and we are finally flirting with that weekly sell at the same time. So we'll see what that does. But one thing does seem for sure, and that is that the dollar is weakening at the moment, which it should. It's so high up. All right, that pretty much completes us on the currencies. But if anybody wants to see anything, just let us know and we'll go back to it. Now let's go over to silver. And there's silver. Silver is holding up nicely. And you can see it's actually flirting with the weekly too, right there. Whereas, let's see what's going on here. There's the gold. And gold is, I fixed the time from reference, which database it was taken from. So it's back to normal. And you can see here, and the weekly is trying. Oh, there was a little push there too at the same time. It's still only $10 away from getting through the weekly. So it's showing some possibilities there. Oh, platinum. Today's Monday. Let's look at platinum. Platinum closed in a weekly buy last week. Well, that's another warning sign. Seeing the yen going down against the dollar. In other words, the dollar selling. We have silver trying to get through the weekly, and we have the October. What do you call it? The October platinum in a buy from last week, right there. It's showing life. It closed in a weekly buy last week. Maybe we'll get this back up to 1,000 or 1,050, and maybe we'll see gold go back to 1,900 or 19 and change. We are, we philosophically think, the math is not trying to tell me anything particular because we follow it the way we do, but it philosophically, we have to believe that the election is going to straighten out a lot of the stuff that the Fed does. Not all of it. I mean, they tried last time and they didn't get anywhere. But the Fed has been doing lots of weird stuff, and it's about time they stopped it. And they're just giving the Democrats opportunity to spend trillions of dollars for no reason. And we can afford to throw away $1 trillion or two around here in the United States, but it's not a good reason to do it. Just because you can afford to do it. It's we'll have to see. But I think the elections are going to turn out in favor of the world and away from these heavy spenders here in the States, which is a good thing. All right, copper. We were looking at copper. There's copper there. You see copper's in a buy too. It's up to almost 360. The weekly is trying to lift here. Not bad. You see some of the pressures there on the industrial metal. So that's usually a positive sign. For growth or something of that nature. What else can we say about any of that? Nothing particular. See a headline this morning says Amazon's cutting 100,000 employees from workforce in a single quarter. Just when Mr. Biden's administration says, don't worry about the economy, let's follow this lagging indicator called employment, they start to knock bodies off of it. Interesting. If they said something's blue, it's not. If they said it's green, it's not. If they said it's orange, or they said it's not orange, then it is. Oh my God, these guys cannot get it right. All right, that completes the metals. Let's go take a look at the energies. And we saw right there. Let's fix that. Now that's not fixing it. What's that? What is the malfunction there? Try that one more time. Let's see if that does it. So the back month was able to fix itself, but this is not doing that. Well, one thing's for sure, we are climbing into a cell with no problem whatsoever right there. and we're still in that weekly sell. Whereas the back month, as we took a look a little while ago, in the November contract, is I thought it was flirting. No, that was gold. It's trying. Now that's all screwed up. I'll have to go check that out again and get that straightened out. But one thing is for sure, both the back month and the front month are going into a daily sell, and they're already in weekly sells. So the pressure is back on that, and I'm surprised Canadian is not going up, not down. Let's take a look at Canadian again. It's down, and then let's go over to where was I thinking before that? Oh, let's put Brent up there. There's Brent. And Brent is moving down. So it's hitting the par area. We've seen it bounce between 107 and basically like 102 or 101 last week, and here we are through the one evens point. They're playing with the evens, putting that pressure on it. I think OPEC meets tomorrow or next week. I think it's next week they meet. I don't expect anything to, I kind of think oils are trapped in like a $90 to $120 range area. I mean, obviously they can try to slide underneath a little bit or something like that, but I'm really convinced they're stuck in that range until we see some clarity. And right now we don't see a lot of clarity coming out of government. Pelosi's in Singapore. Huh. Okay, so they're talking to Pelosi. There's some really strange stuff out of that too at the same time. But Pelosi is now in Singapore. We'll see if she makes it to Taiwan. From there, we go over to natural gas. Nat gas is doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's in the sell. And look at that. Just as it's in the sell, the weekly jumps up. So I guess just as they took it down so they can take it up again. We were at the $9 area back in early June. It was $9.50. And we could see, it was $9.14 at the end of June, too. So I guess we'll find a way to hesitate, bounce around a little bit, and before you know it, it'll be cruising through the weekly again or something like that, like it's doing now, and trying to get into a buy. Higher up, which is not good. All right, let's see. Natural gas. Let's see what European gas looks like. We saw it at 28 and change on Friday. There it is right there. And it's still in the 28s. Seems like it's locked between high 28s and low or mid 26s. It doesn't seem to change from there. And that's how it all plays out in the end. Is that the gas situation in Europe really has a lot of people trying to do other things, I guess you could say. Trying to figure out other ways to compensate for the winter coming on, since we are, I guess, about 8 weeks away in summer. 7 weeks. We still have 7 weeks of summer. So they got to come up with something. Now, let's check out. Let's see. There's nat gas. Let's go over to, I guess that's it. That's it for the energies. So we can take a look at the stock indices, or unless someone wants to see something. Let's see what the stock indices say. And there is the S&P 500. We should go to the intraday with it. It's around here somewhere. There it is. Now let's go back to the daily to start off with. There is the S&P 500. It's in a daily buy for a few days here. We've seen some strength. A little weakness going on this morning. It's minus for the moment, pressing down, still holding up in the weekly and so forth. We'll see. Nothing moves in a straight line. They love to dance and twist and so forth. Let's take a look at the intraday of it. There it is right there. There's the intraday. It's in a sell now for these bars here, you can see. Pretty calm action, nothing major. Mainly, I guess you could say all morning long they've been selling it down. It's been in the sell. Let's see what the London Open looks like, or the Amsterdam, or who's ever up in your carrot, I want to call it. So you can see here they started trading in Switzerland and Madrid and so forth and so on. Milan, there's a buy there with some decent, and then a sell. Went into a sell here, and boy, it stayed in that sell all the way out to, did it get into the buy there? Let's get a line on there. Yeah, it got into a buy right there and went right back into the sell, the next one, and stayed in that sell all the way out to there. And then went right back into a sell again right there, and the pressure's been on it to there. It went into a buy and then back into a sell again. And again, you see the sells are making money each time. And now it's starting to show some life on the upside. A little bit real life since the European Open. The buying is going on a little bit in here. Maybe I'll do a cup and saucer thing and try to lift up more. Guess we'll wait and see what this does right there on the intraday. Now this is a 783 contract. This is a 2/3. Was it 1.618 Tesla, as I like to call it. All right, from there we go over to, let's see, what do we got here? Let's push these like that. Might have to add more time to these. Let's see what's going on. There's the Dow. That's 2 days. Let's make it 1 day. And same thing there. This is the S&P 500. I'm sorry, no, this is the NASDAQ 100, or better known as the Tech 100. And you can see there like that. Went into the sell here and went down in value, and gets into a buy right there. Goes up in value, but very mildly. Now let's put a 2 day in there and see what it does. We'll calculate. Let's go take a look at the daily while it's doing its calculation. Not there. Let's close that to begin with. Right there. There is the Tech 100 doing the same thing. It's minus at the moment. You see pressure's on it, but we're been in the buy since here, so we'll see. We'll give it a chance to do a little dipping down like this and see if it tries to lift up afterwards. I know that they're a little disappointed with this taxation thing that they passed on Friday. I don't think it's signed yet. I think it has to go back to the Senate again, which could get it stalled in there. It's hard to say. There's a potential there to get stalled. Let's see. So what we do is let's go back to the intraday now. Now, why won't you give us more data? Let's put 3 in there and see what happens. No. All right, we'll go back to the 1 day of it, right there, and just widen it a little bit. You see, it's nowhere. This is the European hours right here. They do the little sell down, they go back up, but we can't see what our indicators are telling us there. So let me see if I can find out why it's doing this. Let's go to this. There we go. See if that fills in. Taking too long. Alright. Settings. Let's see. Globex. Stock indices. There it is. Let's see what that does. It's not doing it either. Alright, we'll go back to this one there, like that. There we are. So you can see it's just jumbling around. It looks like it has done better than the S&Ps. Let me just go back to the S&Ps. Notice that the S&Ps don't have anywhere near the bounce. Let's see. No, it did. Okay, the S&Ps had the same bounce right there. What else can we say about either of those at this point? Well, let's take a look at the Dow 30. There's the Dow. That's filled in there. And doing the same thing, selling down, trying to lift here, and the pressure is on that. This thing functions at 1 Tesla at this point. Now let's look at the daily. And there's the daily. Alright. And that's pretty much the action of it all. Our stock indices are all down here in the States. We'll see what kind of pressure that gets put on this stuff. But at this point in time, I guess a little selling. When looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, if it's not down 300 points, to me, that's just background noise. I don't, percentage-wise, less than 1%, you can't get excited or paranoid or frustrated with 1% moves in this market. So that's background noise. I don't think it changes a trend. I think it just is what it is. It's just trading for the day. When you get down like 2.5%, 3%, then I start to pay attention of those percentages. It means something more. All right, this is Doc. It's time to get out of here, and the markets open up in a few minutes. We will see you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders.